Good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening. Once again, this is Darlito Bernard Delizo, welcoming you back to this subject, law enforcement, organization, and administration. For this video, the discussion is focused on the mandates of the Department of Agriculture, or DA, and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DNR, insofar as law enforcement is concerned. And for the objectives of this subject, it is expected that at the end of this lecture, the viewers or the learners should be able to define the mandate of DA and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, as well as to be able to distinguish or differentiate these two departments of the government. And take note, this lecture is already the last of the subjects or lessons under the subject law enforcement, organization, and administration. Okay, so unahin natin kung ano ang mandato ng Department of Agriculture. So this is the agency which is responsible for the promotion of agricultural development by providing the policy framework, public investment, and support services needed for domestic and export-oriented business enterprises. So tingnan natin na ito yung magpo-promote ng development ng agricultural products natin insofar as aquatic and plant resources are concerned. Now, ano yung mga batas na ini-enforce nito? Marami. Okay? Because the Department of Agriculture is made up of, we call it various staff and line bureaus na nag-implement for the, at nagpo-promote ng tinatawag natin products that are safe for the consumption of the public. So, anyone na nagba-violate sa mga safe product na ito, ang DA ang pinaka-primary agency na nag-i-enforce sa mga batas na ito. Okay, so isa-isahin natin later on yung mga staff bureaus ng Department of Agriculture. So this is the organizational chart of the Department of Agriculture. So you have the Office of the Secretary, and down below, they have the staff offices and staff bureaus. No? Yung mga staff offices na yan ay nandun normally doon sa main office ng Department of Agriculture. And of course, meron silang staff bureau and meron din mga attached agencies. Tulad ng Agriculture Credit and Policy Council, Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority, the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, the Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries, the National Meat Inspection Service, the Philippine Carabao Center, and the Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development. Okay, so itong mga attached agencies, kaya tinawag na attached agencies mga yan ay more or less mga kanyan, tinatawag natin they are autonomous from the Department of Agriculture insofar as funding is concerned, insofar as operations is concerned. So sila ngayon yung mga tumutulong para tinatawag natin ma-attain ng Department of Agriculture yung kanilang mandates. Okay? Now, meron din mga attached corporations, okay? Mga government-controlled corporations in particular. Ito mga staff bureaus naman na hati-hati yung mga concerns ng Department of Agriculture. So, ano yung mga staff bureaus na yan? So, we have the Bureau of Animal Industry, the Bureau of Plant Industry, the Bureau of Agricultural and Fisheries Engineering, the Agricultural Training Institute, the Bureau of Agricultural and Fisheries Standard, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, the Bureau of Agricultural Research, and the Bureau of Soils and Water Management. And of course, the DA or the Department of Agriculture ay meron siyang mga regional field offices. Okay? Now, ano ang trabaho ng mga staff bureaus na ito? Some of them are staff bureaus, pero some of them are actually performing a line staff bureau, which I am going to discuss as we move on. Okay, so first thing first, you have the Bureau of Animal Industry. Going back to the history, ang Department of Agriculture ay na-create yan doon sa First Philippine Republic by Emilio Aguinaldo. Okay? So isa yan sa mga departmento na na-create noong panahon ni Emilio Aguinaldo. And under that, of course, is yung natawag natin, yung Department of Agriculture, under that is yung mga tungkol sa plant and animal industries. Okay? So, nagkaroon ng maraming changes. And nung sinakop ng, again, ng Amerika ang Pilipinas, so the Commonwealth Act 3639, okay, the Bureau of Agriculture was divided into two. Na-divide siya yung dating, kasi ganito na, nung panahon ni Aguinaldo, yan ay Department of Agriculture. Pero nung panahon na ng mga Amerikano, ginawa yan na bureau lamang, Bureau of Agriculture. At na-split yan noong January 1, 1930 para ma-create yung Bureau of Animal Industry at saka yung Bureau of Plant Industry. And with the split of the Bureau of Agriculture into two, the Bureau of Animal Industry was tasked to investigate and study and report the cause of dangerous communicable diseases and the means of prevention, and in general promote the development of the livestock industries. So marami yan, no? Say for example, kailangan ng quarantine. Say for example, nagpasok ka ng isang hayop na mayroong FMD or foot and mouth disease, or mayroon siyang African swine or African swine African flu na tinatawag natin. So nagpasok ka niyan, you are violating, okay, the Food Safety Act, no, ng ating bansa. Kasi nagpapasok ka ng mga livestock na may mga sakit. Okay? So kasama yan dun sa mga trabaho ng Bureau of Animal Industry. So in-investigate nila bakit nagkakaroon ng mga dangerous and communicable diseases. At pag meron mga nagpo-produce or mayroong mga nagbebenta, okay, at nagpapalusot or nag-import, nag-export ng mga dangerous, ng mga livestock with dangerous communicable diseases, the Bureau of Animal Industry, of course, with the help ng iba't ibang law enforcement agencies of the government, okay, sila ang primary agency for this purpose. And in Republic Act 10611, the Food Safety Act of 2013, okay, the Bureau of Animal Industry is one of the regulatory agencies under the DA responsible for the enforcement of food safety standards and regulations in the primary and post-harvest stages of food derived from animals, including eggs and honey. So yun na sinasabi ko kanina na isa sila sa mga enforcing agencies kapag may violation na mga nagpo-produce, nagbibiyahe, nagbibenta ng mga products, mga livestock that are we call it detrimental to the public health. So it is also the lead agency or one of the lead agencies in the implementation and enforcement of livestock related laws. So what about the Bureau of Plant Industry? Ang Bureau of Plant Industry, as I've mentioned a while back, is kasama yan nung na-split ang Bureau of Agriculture in January 1, 1930 by virtue of Commonwealth Act or the Act 3639. Okay? I'm sorry, ang Act 369 is not a Commonwealth Act, but rather the Act of the Philippine Commission during the time of Marcos, during the time of the Americans. Kasi ang Commonwealth Act, nag-start yan noong 1935. Okay? So again, Act 4007, Reorganization Law of 1932, nung ni-reorganize yung ating bansa, they added now the functions of, unang-una, ang kinuhang function ng BPI is yung plant research and crop production. Pero noong 1932, dinagdagan yung function nila, yung crop protection and technology transfer. So ganun din yan. Meron kasing mga halaman na delikadong kainin, may mga halaman din na mga may pesticides, may mga halaman na detrimental sa public health. Ito yung mga may sakit na halaman. Okay? So bawal mag-transport, bawal magbenta, bawal magpasa ng mga ganong klase ng halaman that is detrimental to the safety. Okay? And BPI is one of the lead agencies or the lead agency for that purpose, ma-enforce yung mga batas patungkol dito. Okay, so it is one of the lead or one of the lead agencies in the implementation and enforcement of laws relative to crop protection, such as, but not limited to Presidential Decree 1433, the plant quarantine law. Kung merong animal quarantine, merong ding plant quarantine. Okay? Na bago yan ipasa sa public, kailangan muna ma-quarantine para makita kung yan ay safe o hindi. Lalong-lalo yung mga ini-import na mga halaman papunta sa Pilipinas. Even yung palabas, ay hindi nga basta-basta maglabas din ng mga halaman, ng mga buto, ng mga seeds, okay? And then the PD 936 and the LOI 987, the creation of regional crop protection centers, and the LOI 986, the pesticide residue analysis and monitoring. Okay, so ganito yan. Modesty aside, my wife, who is a chemical engineer, is a former government employee in the Bureau of Plant Industry for 20 years. No? Nag-optional retire lang siya after 20 years in the service. At ang trabaho niya ay doon sa Pesticide Residue Analysis Laboratory. Ano yon? At monitoring. Ganito yan. Ang kanyang destino ay Northern Luzon, ang kanyang destino. Lahat ng regions dito sa Northern Luzon. Ngayon, sila ang nagmo-monitor at nagtetest ng mga halaman na mga vegetables na gumagamit ng mga dangerous level ng mga pesticides at yung mga pinagbabawal na pesticides. Okay? At kapag meron silang mga natagpuan at na-found out sa kanilang mga researches o sa kanilang mga experimentation sa laboratory na yung mga farmers na gumagamit ng sobrang cyanide, sobrang formalin, nagre-recommend sila sa DA. Okay? Na tinatawag natin na mag-take ng action against these people. Okay? So yun ang trabaho ng isa sa mga trabaho ng BPI. Okay? So, of course, the Republic Act 7394, which is the Consumer Act of 1992. Kasi kailangan talaga ang mga ma-produce nating mga halaman or mga vegetables or prutas, dapat yan ay safe para sa public consumption. So, the Bureau of Plant Industry ang nag-i-enforce niyan also. O kaya, kung di man sila mag-enforce niyan, nagre-recommend sila ng mga policies or whatever para mag-take ng action ang Department of Agriculture. By the way, ang Bureau of Plant Industry is not an attached agency. Okay? Although yung kanyang function ay parang attached agency. Okay? Isa rin itong staff bureau. Hindi siya line bureau kasi pag sinabi mo kasing line bureau, ang supervision, ang regulation, ang management nito, supposedly direct siya under sa Department of Agriculture. Pero hindi. Ang nagsusupervise sa kanila, diretso sila doon sa Bureau of Plant Industry sa Maine, doon sa Quezon City. Ganun yon. Tapos, more or less, para silang autonomous sa kanilang operation. At iba yung kanilang staffing pattern doon sa Department of Agriculture. Kapag line bureau kasi yan, parehas yung staffing pattern ng bureau doon sa Department of Agriculture. Pero itong BPI, iba yung kanyang staffing pattern because it is staff bureau. Okay? Although kumukuha siya ng budget sa DA, actually ang BPI hindi kumukuha ng budget sa DA. Kumukuha siya ng budget directly sa Department of Budget and Management, the DBM. Kaya siya nagmumukhang parang attached agency siya. Pero in reality, ito ay staff bureau. Kaya yung kanyang structure lang ay para siyang attached agency. Okay? Kasi pag sinabing attached agency, yan ay autonomous yan sa department. Ito hindi siya autonomous. Supposedly, under siya dapat ng DA. Pero yung kanyang organization at yung kanyang processes ay para siyang autonomous, kaya para siyang nagpa-function na attached agency. Pero ito ay staff bureau ito. Now, you have the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or the BFAR. So the BFAR is responsible for the development, improvement, law enforcement, management, and conservation of the Philippines fisheries and aquatic resources. Okay? So alam na natin yan. Pag may mga dangerous type of fishing, kagaya ng paggamit ng cyanide, no? Sa mga river or sa whatever, no, bodies of water, paggamit ng mga dynamite, okay? Paggamit ng electricity sa pangingisda. So any fishing activities that is detrimental to the aquatic resources or the fisheries resources, ang BFAR ang pinaka-primary law enforcement agency dyan. Of course, papatulong din yan sa PNP and other law enforcement agencies of the government. So it is the lead agency in the implementation and enforcement of Republic Act 8550, entitled An Act Providing for the Development, Management, and Conservation of the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and integrating all laws pertinent thereto and for other purposes, or it is known as the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998. And of course, other related laws. So, ganun din. Ha? So, pinapag-aralan din yan kung may gumamit ng formalin sa mga isda at sino yung mga gumagamit ng ganyan. So, magre-recommend yan sa DA ng mga tinatawag natin appropriate action to be taken against those we call it producers of dangerous fish and aquatic products. What about the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standard? Okay. Sir, hindi ba ito nag-overlap? Actually, hindi. Kapag sa Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standard, ito na yung tinatawag natin more or less na doon na sa na-produce na sa product. Okay? Doon na sa product na na-produce na yon. So may mga standards. Yung mga gulay natin, yung mga aquatic products natin, may mga standards niyan. Okay? Na sinusunod niyaan. Kapag yan ay natawag natin na maaring pre-process siya or maaring hindi naka-process, maaring yan ay mga cold products, okay? So mayroong standards, okay? Yan ang silang nagbibigay whether yung standard mo ay quality standard o hindi. So silang nag-inspect niyan. At pag may violator again, okay, they are going to file the necessary charges against those people who are violating these standards insofar as agriculture and fisheries product. So, specifically, this is the lead agency or one of the agencies tasked for the implementation and enforcement of the following: the Republic Act 8435 or the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act of 1997 or the AFMA, and the RA 168 or the Organic Agriculture Act of 2010, and the RA 10601 Agriculture and Fisheries Mechanization Act of 2013. And again, the Republic Act 10611, the Food Safety Act of 2013, and the Republic Act 10817 or the Philippine Halal Export Development and Promotion Act of 2016. Okay, so yan yung mga natawag natin, may mga standards na dapat ma-produce at dapat ma-process, okay, na mga agricultural and fisheries products, and it is the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards ang lead agency for that purpose. Now, what about the Bureau of Soils and Water Management? Okay? So the Bureau of Soils and Water Management, again, kasama yan doon sa pollution. Okay? Kasi pag polluted ang lupa at ang tubig natin, it will affect the agricultural products na mapoproduce natin. Okay? So isa yan sa trabaho ng Bureau of Soils and Water Management. But specifically, the Bureau is responsible for the formulation of measures and guidelines for the effective utilization of soil and water resources as vital agricultural resources to attain food security and safety. Okay, so take note although mayroon na tayong mga soil-less agriculture ngayon, pinaka-bulk pa rin ng ating agriculture is yung paggamit ng soil at paggamit ng water resources. At sabi ko nga, kapag marumi ang soil, marumi ang water resources natin, it will affect now the security and safety of agricultural products. So ito ang trabaho nila, titignan nila kung mayroong mga violators. And of course, for the environmental stability through soil and water resources-based adaptation and mitigation measures, meaning ito yung mga paano ma-prevent or paano ma-reduce yung mga adverse effect nito sa ating agricultural products that will address multi-environmental concerns on land degradation para hindi masira, the climate change, and agricultural biodiversity conservation. Kasi ito yung mga water resources natin at saka yung mga soils natin, pwede rin yan na maapektuhan yung ating biodiversity conservation, meaning pwedeng masira yung mga halaman, ma-extinct sila, at ganun din yung mga hayop na nagde-depend sa soil at saka sa water resources natin. Extension So what else? To assist in coordination with the state universities and colleges, the local government unit extension system, by improving their effectiveness and efficiency through capability building and complementary extension activities such as technical assistance, training of LGU personnel, improvement of physical facilities, extension, research and information support services. No? Tumutulong sila sa mga government universities and colleges, particularly sa mga agricultural and agricultural state colleges para mas gaganda yung kanilang pinapag-aralan at training at nagtitrain din sila mga LGU officials or personnel para ma-improve yung agricultural we call it aspeto ng ating mga local governments. Okay? And of course, kapag sila rin ang nagbibigay din ng mga recommendation at yun nga, nag-formulate ng policies and guidelines so that tawag natin, ma-determine nila whether may mga violators din later on. Now, we'll move on sa ating Department of Environment and Natural Resources. So the DNR is the primary agency responsible for the conservation, management, and development and proper use of the country's environment and natural resources, specifically forest and grazing lands, mineral resources, including those in reservation and watershed areas, and lands of the public domain, as well as the licensing and regulation of all natural resources as may be provided for by law in order to ensure equitable sharing of the benefits derived therefrom for the welfare of the present and future generation of Filipinos. Okay? So we have a congressman in our city na kinasuhan ng DNR. Kasi doon sa kanyang dinevelop daw, accordingly, ay nakasira siya ng mga kakahuyan yung sa forest area at saka yung lupa. So kapag may mga nagde-develop ng mga industries na kumukuha yan ng permit or kumukuha yan ng license or ng accreditation sa DNR para hindi masira ang kalikasan. So yun ang trabaho niyan. So anyone na tinatawag natin sumisira ng ating kalikasan, okay, ang DNR ang primary agency for the enforcement of those things and investigation. Just like in the city of Baguio, may mga dinimanda rito ng DNR kasi they found out na yung mga pine trees ay nilason nila para mamatay kasi mahirap kasing kumuha ng permit to cut the pine trees in the city of Baguio. In fact, mayroon kaming moratorium na 10 years dito na binigay ng DNR na 10 years walang magpuputol ng kahoy dito sa Baguio. Okay? Yun ang kaya yung mga iba para hindi latado ang ginagawa nila, nilalason yung mga pine tree. So, ang DNR ang nagkakandak ng investigation at nagpa-file ng charges against these people kung ano yung appropriate law na kanilang mga na-violate. Okay? So, aside na mayroon silang forest guards, by the way, mababa kasing sahod ng forest guard, no? Hindi ko may rekomenda sa inyo. Now, pwede rin, kung bang naghintay kayo na makakapasok later on sa Try Bureau, pag nag-graduate kayo, pwede rin mag-forest guard pero mababa lang sahod niyan. Now, aside from the forest guards, marami silang mga securities, no? Mga guards na natawag natin na nagmo-monitor sa ating kalikasan, no? Okay, so ganun trabaho niya, no? Kaya hindi basta-basta na magpatayo ng building dito sa lalo sa amin, sa Baguio, hindi basta-basta ang mag-construction, okay? Titignan nila kung mayroong adverse effect ito sa ating environment. So the DNR is the primary agency for that purpose. So these are the objectives, okay, of DNR so that it can perform its mandate. So to assure the availability and sustainability of the country's natural resources through judicious use. Pag sinabing judicious use, legal na paggamit or tamang paggamit and systematic restoration or replacement whenever possible. Na kailangan, kung ikaw ay magpuputol ng kahoy, ikaw ay magtatanim din ng 100 na kahoy, parang ganon. Okay? Whenever possible. Increase the productivity of natural resources in order to meet the demands for forest, mineral, and land resources if in a growing population. Okay? In other words, ito yung mga tinatawag nating tree planting activities. Yan ang kanilang piniperform. And then, enhancing the contribution of natural resources for achieving national economic and social development. So, sila yung bahala doon kung paano makakatulong yung or ma-improve yung contribution ng ating likas na kayamanan or natural resources for the advancement of our economy and development. And to promote equitable access to natural resources by the different sectors of the population, meaning mayroong equitable, meaning kumbaga ay lahat tayo ay may right, no? dapat titignan nila na lahat tayo may karapatan upang ma-enjoy natin ang ating natural resources, no? Yun ang ibig sabihin niyan. And conserve specific terrestrial and marine areas. Pag sinabing nating terrestrial, ito yung ating aerial, no? So, kailangan ma-conserve din yan kasi yung air pollution na tinatawag natin. And then the marine areas, representative of the Philippine natural and cultural heritage for present and future generations para ma-minimize, ma-prevent ang mga pollution na tinatawag natin. So, this is the organizational chart. So, meron ding mga attached agencies dito, tulad ng Laguna Lake Development Authority, the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, the National Water Resources Board, the Natural Resources Development and Corporation, the Palawan Council for Sustainable Development, the Philippine Mining Development Corporation, and the Philippine Reclamation Authority. So these are the attached agencies again. These are autonomous from the DNR, from the department, okay? But they are in one way or another performing tasks or functions in coordination with or separate with DNR, okay? So that they can help in the implementation or in the conservation of our natural resources. And like the DA, meron din siyang mga tinatawag nating staff services. And meron din siyang mga tinatawag na staff and line bureaus. Just like the Mines and Geosciences Bureau, the Forest Management Bureau, the Land Management Bureau, the Biodiversity Management Bureau, the Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau, and the Environmental Management Bureau, and of course, the different regions of these bureaus. So, first thing first, ano yung Mines and Geosciences Sciences Bureau? So, it is responsible for the conservation, management, development, and use of country's mineral resources, including those in reservations and public lands. That is public lands, okay? So, ibig sabihin yan, titignan nila kapag yung mga minahan, okay, ng anumang klaseng mina yan, titignan nila kung ito ba'y nakakasira o ito ba'y mag-focus ng landslide, mag-focus ba ito ng adverse effect sa ating natural resources. So it is the lead agency or one of the lead agencies in the implementation and enforcement of laws relative to protection and conservation of mines and geosciences para hindi tawag natin ma-exploit ang ating kalikasan. Then what about the Forest Management Bureau, the FMB? So the FMB provides technical guidance to the central and field offices for the effective protection, development, and conservation of forest lands and watersheds. It shall recommend policies and programs towards achievement of sustainable forest management based on science and principles of good forest governance and the enforcement of related laws insofar as the protection of our forest. So sa forest naman yan. So nandyan yung mga forest guard natin, okay? At of course, tinitignan nila kung may mga violators, mga illegal loggers, and similar acts. So, sila rin ang nagkakandak ng investigation at maaaring mag-submit ng report at mag-recommend ng criminal charges against the violators. What about the Land Management Bureau? Magkaiba sa tawag natin sa geosciences and the like, no? Ang Land Management Bureau, ito yung kumbaga na tawag natin nagkakandak ito ng mga survey. Okay? Nagkakandak ito ng mga survey, nagkakandak ito ng mga declaration kung ano yung mga public lands or yung mga forest reserve areas, no? So responsible now for the administering, surveying, managing, and disposing alienable and disposable lands and other government lands not placed under the jurisdiction of other government agencies. So sila ngayon ang kung yan ay i-award nila, kung pwedeng i-award ba yan, kung pwedeng payagan ba yung mga tao na gawing residential area yan, so sila ang bahala doon. Okay? So tinitignan nila yung kalupahan, titignan nila whether safe yan for farming, safe yan for agriculture, whether safe yan for residential, at sila magsasabi kung pwedeng i-award yan sa mga tao. What about the Biodiversity Management Bureau? Yan. Pag sabi natin biodiversity, yan yung mga ibig sinasabi niyan na sa ating tawag natin sa ating kabundukan, sa ating mga forest, may mga plants and animals, no? na dapat yan ay natawag nating interdependent with one another or dependent with one another. Okay, kailangan na ma-conserve, ma-protect yung mga animals, okay, mga wildlife, and yung even yung mga plants and herbs sa mga lugar na yan. So they are mandated to protect the country's biological diversity. Yan, nabulol ako. Biological diversity. Yan. And properly manage and conserve these important resources, no? Yung mga wildlife natin. And one of the staff bureaus of DENR mandated to protect the Philippines' biological diversity and properly manage and conserve these important resources and the ecosystem services they provide. No? Yung ecosystem. Kasi nga, sabi ko nga kanina, ang mga halaman ay nagdidepende yan sa mga hayop din at yung mga hayop nagdidepende rin yan sa halaman. Okay, so somehow kailangan maproteksyonan yun. Hindi pwedeng uubusin yung mga wildlife natin kasi merong effect yan sa ating ecology. Then, what about the ecosystem research? Yung ecosystem research naman, nandun na tayo yung research. Yung una kasi, protection. Ito naman, research and development. So ito, paano yung sila magre-research ngayon kung paano mapapangalagahan, kung ano yung the best na gagawin sa ating ecosystem. Okay? So the principal research and development unit of the DNR. And its research and development and extension activities are focused on the 5 major ecosystems of the Philippines, which include the forest, the upland farms, the grassland, and the degraded areas, the coastal zone, and the freshwater and urban areas. So tinitignan nila ngayon doon yung mga kung ano yung mayroon bang imbalance sa ating ecological or sa ating ecology. Ecology is the relationship between animals or the living things and the surroundings. No? Meron kasing adverse effect yan kapag nawala yung ganitong uri ng hayop, nawala yung ganitong uri ng isda, nawala yung ganitong uri ng halaman. Okay? So, kumbaga, magkakaroon ng ecological imbalance. So, sila ang nagre-research para kung paano ang pinaka-the best na strategy or approaches so that they can conserve and protect our ecosystem. So, what are the requirements for food lane accreditation? Meaning, sabi nga natin sa agriculture, ay kailangan ang mga ipoproduce at isoserve sa community ay safe na mga pagkain. Okay? So, kapag sa food lane naman, sa mga pagkain, ikaw ay, kumbaga, ikaw ay magpo-produce, okay, or magbebenta. So, bago ka bigyan ng accreditation ng DNR, yan, dapat ay may business permit, mayroon kang official receipt of registration ng DTI, okay, certificate of registration, okay, your duly accomplished food lane accreditation application, the duly accomplished food lane reference form, the duly accomplished statement of commitment, your handler's license and accreditation of transport carrier, no? Yan, so ikaw ay magbibiyahe, di ba? Yan, so magbibiyahe ka ng mga products at kailangan ikaw ay accredited. Hindi basta-basta magbibiyahe yan, okay? So, say for example, pag sa meat transportation, kailangan makakuha ka. Ini-inspect yan sa mga checkpoint ng mga Department of Agriculture whether merong lisensya or accreditation yung mga nagtra-transport ng mga pagkain kasi doon makikita kung safe yung mga napoproduce at naitra-transport o naitra-transport ng mga pagkain. And what about the programs of DNR? Well, again, the improvement of land administration and management para tamang pagkagamit ng ating mga kalupaan, scaling up of coastal and marine ecosystem program so that mas lalong maproteksyonan yung ating ecosystem and ma-enhance yung biodiversity conservation. Okay, so ano yon yung sabi ko nga yung mga ating wildlife. Then the solid waste management program sa air pollution natin, sa water pollution natin, sa land pollution natin. So sila ang nagbibigay ng mga tawag natin na mga rules and regulations or policies kung ano yung dapat na gawin. At of course, may mga batas tayo sa air pollution natin sa Republic Act 8949, okay, or 8749, okay, and mayroon tayong mga batas sa ating mga solid waste management and the like. So sila ang tawag natin nagkakandak ng investigation at nagpa-file ng necessary charges, and the Clean Water Program. Okay? So, that's the end of the topic for the law enforcement, organization, and administration. Before we will end, finally, the subject matter and this discussion, what about the Bible? Well, in Genesis chapter 1, we read na ang Panginoon ang tawag natin naglalang ng langit at lupa. Whether you agree with me or not, whether you believe it or not, yun ang sabi ng Bible. Okay? Na in 6 days, ang Diyos ang nag-create ng langit at lupa at lahat ng bagay nandito. At sabi niya, after creating everything, ang sinabi ng Lord ay mabubuti lahat yung kanyang mga ginawa. Mabubuti lahat yung kanyang mga nilikha. Okay? And finally, yung mga natural resources na ito na create ng Lord, somehow kailangan mapangalagaan to. So in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 sabi niya, then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Meaning yung love of the nature. Okay, love of nature. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So, from there, binibigyan tayo ng lordship. Kaya nga nandun yung sa Armed Forces of the Philippines, saka sa Tri-Bureau, nandun yung tinatawag nating responsible dominion. Meaning, ginawa tayong Lord, ginawa tayong Panginoon ng ating natural resources. And in return, kailangan pangalagaan natin to. Okay? Kaya minsan, ang ating nature ay nalakas ng ulan, ng mga bagyo natin, nagbabaha. Well, somehow, maaring ito ay maaring parusa ito ng ating Panginoon dahil natawag natin na-exploit at na-abuse natin ang ating natural resources. Okay? So the Bible itself is telling us ng proper conservation ng mga natural resources. Okay? So in like manner, sa inyong buhay, kung mayroon man kayong mga resources, binibigay ng mga pera, mga ari-arian sa inyo or mga kagamitan, well, you have to use them properly. Kasi binigay sa inyo yan upang pangalagaan, di gamitin yan sa anumang bagay na maglilid sa inyo ng kasalanan or anumang hindi magandang mga bagay. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for watching and listening, and God bless you all.